Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and here we go with today's deck tech. Thanks for being here. Yesterday it was blue black, so I thought we might as well do the complete opposite one, and we'll go white green. And I want to have a look at Yenna, Redtooth Regent, 4/4 legendary creature, elf noble, and 2 in a tap. Choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. Remember that is important, except it isn't legendary. If the token is an aura, untap Yenna, Redtooth Regent, then scry to activate owner's sorcery. Now, I'm not playing the aura thing. I think the aura deck is a lot better in the black-white deck that we saw the other week in the YouTube channel with Eritet. It's there, Eriette. Anyway, it's down there somewhere. You can go watch it, go and check the video out. I think we're better in the aura deck, but this one, copying enchantments in white green, is something I've really been interested in. So here we go. As usual, start with the mana base, green white lands all the way through, Fable Passage, Field of the Dead Seer again. Purely because I think it might help us get somewhere, but it's a card I'm really tempted to drop out, purely because of what we're doing. Because we have 10 forests, 10 plains, and then a few other lands, as you can see. The usual selection of things here: Reliquary Tower, Temple of the False God. Gavany Township's worth pointing out just because it pumps up all our creatures. And then the artifact side of it, the 2 suspend cards, Tantalite Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Fellwar Stone, because I was trying to keep it cheap. And the reason I'm trying to keep it cheap is because of what we're trying to do with the deck. What we're obviously trying to do is get some enchantments down and get them copied. And I went down a slightly different route, and I think it works. I'm going to play test the deck, and this video may suddenly get an amendment in the comments, but an enchantment also counts enchantment creatures as far as I'm aware, which means we can copy enchantment creatures with Yenna. So a lot of the creatures in here I've got in are enchantment creatures, and because they don't have legendary in their wording anymore when you copy them, things can get interesting from my point of view. So let's see if I can make this work, and hopefully I've got this right. Start with the 1-drops. Authority of Consuls is here, just getting us a little bit of life. Land tax is the reason we have so many basics in the deck, just to make sure that if we are behind, we can go and fetch some out and get ourselves caught up. And it is only up to 3 basics. So if you only got space in your hand after your draw, say you're on 5 cards, you can go and get 2 of them, you can play 1, you still end up with 7. You don't want to be going over the top unless there's lots of things you can play. Bear that in mind. Utopia Sprawl is about the only aura we have in the deck. We have a couple of other ones that pump onto lands as well, so we do get the occasional untap and scry, but not that often, so bear that in mind. Elixir of Immortality for when everything gets destroyed. And the first of the enchantment creatures I think we can copy is the Jace of the Gods. 2/1 gives us hexproof. The next one is Daxos, Blessed by the Sun, so we gain some more life by having an extra copy of them. Bamboo Grove Archer gives us a Defender with Reach, or if we need to channel it and destroy some target creature with flying, that's fine, because we'll get it back with the Elixir. Composer of Spring is obviously non-enchantment creature. Sorry. But whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under our control, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 6 or more enchantments, instead you may put a creature or land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. It's very nice for land tax. Destiny Spinner means all our enchantments can't be countered, and then we can make our lands into elemental creatures if we need to. Sanctum Weaver gives us a whole load of mana of 1 colour when we need it. And Weaver of Harmony pumps all our creatures up, and then we get to copy our targeted, activated or triggered abilities from an enchantment. Might come up. Jukai Naturalist, it gives us lifelink and reduces the cost. Sterling Grove gives all of our enchantments a shroud, and if we can copy it with this, it basically protects our whole board from targeted removal. Bear it in mind. Sithis Harvest Hand means whenever we cast an enchantment spell, we gain a life draw card. Signet Fellwar Stone I've mentioned, and this is why I need to check on the legendary stuff. Heliod, both versions are in here. He says, trying to spot the other version. It is here somewhere. There it is, Heliod, God of the Sun. Yeah, you can copy these guys. Okay then, that sounds good. Archetype of Courage gives all our creatures first strike. Another one we can copy. Bearer of Memory lets us copy it, copy itself, and then puts +1/+1 counters for 6 mana on enchantment creatures we control and give them trample. Not so much good, but it's still another 3/2 enchantment creature. Beastmaster Ascension gives us a way to attack with everything and give them everything +5/+5. Dryad of Elysian Grove makes sure all our lands are every colour we need them to be to cast stuff. And Enchantress's Presence lets us draw cards. Growing Rights really does ramp our mana up when we get it flipped. Oakheart Dryads is another one that triggers off Constellation. Target creature gets +1/+1 till the end of turn, so it's okay. Rights of Flourishing, extra card draw, extra land drop, thank you. And Boon Satire, chuck it on a creature, and yeah, give it +4/+2, or make it just a normal 4/2 blocker if you need one urgently. Courser Crucifix gives us extra land drops. Sorry, it doesn't give us extra land drops, my apologies. Lets us play lands off top of our library, it gives us life every time we play a land. Court of Garenbrig puts some +1/+1 creature counters around if we need it to. Multiple copies are interesting, put it that way. Tribute to the World Tree. More +1/+1 counters or card draw, depending on the power and on the power of our creature that we're about to play. And Calyx, Guided by Fate from Aftermath. Yeah, we like this card. Or an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may look at it. You're not going to be having them. There aren't that many enchanted creatures in here, but having an extra Calyx to chuck around some more +1/+1 counters, not the worst plan in the world. Of course, if you've got Calyx in play and you copy it with Yenna, it becomes a token that isn't legendary. With Anointed Procession, Parallel Lives, and to a certain extent, Doubling Season, you can get multiple copies of those creatures. Fun. Felidar Retreat gives us cats. Heliod's one I've already mentioned. Court of Arvindale lets us return anything with mana value 3 or less to our hand or into the battlefield, if we're the Monarch. Court of Grace gives us a 1/1 or a 4/4 blocker each upkeep. Again, Anointed Procession with Court of Grace and Parallel Lives and Doubling Season gives us even more. Jukai Preserver puts a +1/+1 counter on target creature we control, then we can channel it if we need to. Nylea gets copied to give all our creatures trample if we need to, double lots of trample and some extra +1/+2, +2/+2 for some mana, sorry. Parallel Lives I've mentioned. Arastar, the Endless Web, another creature we can copy. And we get a whole horde of spider tokens with a bit of luck. Court of Bounty lets us just put a land or a creature into play if we're the Monarch. And Eidolon of Blossoms, we can copy it, draw the extra cards we want to, and do it that way. We may deck ourselves, be warned. Boon Reflection is a nice way of gaining extra life. We do have a few ways of gaining life coming up. And Sphere of Safety. Yeah, let's hide behind everything, shall we? Angelic Chorus, there's our way of gaining life. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain life equal to its toughness. Maybe twice. Cathar's Crusade pumps all our creatures up as they come into play. Virtue of Loyalty gives us a knight on the venture side and then a load of +1/+1 counters each turn on our end step and untapping. Doubling Season I've mentioned. Nylea's Forerunner gives all our creatures trample and can be copied. Asceticism lets us regenerate all our creatures. Karamatra, God of Harvest, 2 copies of this makes life interesting. Let's get those extra lands out when we need them. Mirari's Wake pumps our creatures, doubles our mana count. And Privileged Position. Other permanents you control have hexproof. Yeah, okay then. That gives other enchantments Shroud. This gives it hexproof. That makes things really interesting. True Conviction makes sure our creatures have double strike and lifelink. You don't need to copy this. One of the enchantments that does give us nice things to come into play with is the Goliath Hatchery. That gives us a couple of Phyrexian beasts, and copying these could be fun. And Gruff Triplets, not an enchantment creature. I just play it because I enjoy it, and it's going to be fun with all our doubling up stuff we have in this deck, assuming we can play it after we've got one of them in play. Moving on, Nylea's Colossus enters the battlefield, double target creature's power and toughness till the end of turn, which is lovely on gruff triplets if you've killed one off by mistake. Virtuous Strength, just to give us extra mana if we need it from our basics. Considering we're playing 20 basics in the deck, this does work in here. And Nyx Bloom Ancient. Yeah, okay. Legion Loyalty. I'm not sure how doubling up this will work. So I don't know if they've fixed Myriad yet in MTGO. I think they have now, but I figured giving 2 lots of Myriad to our creatures can't be bad. And Archetype of Endurance, I already started the video on that. Give all our creatures hexproof, and then the opponent's creatures can't have hexproof. Now, because of all the mana, there is an argument to have something like Genesis Wave in this deck. I decided against it. Feel free to play it, or any other X spell you want to, green-white, to take advantage of all the extra mana you'll be producing once you've doubled up on your blooms and what have you. But, whoops, that's really bad. That's it for this video from me. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Like I say, it should work. Next to me, here, I'm hoping, if I'm pointing in the right direction. Ta-da! If I do the little arrow, there you go. There should be a little subscribe button there now. Please, if you're not subscribed, help me out. As I record this video, I'm very grateful that I've got up from 229 at the start of last week to 234 as I'm recording this today. So hopefully you'll be, you might be 235 or even higher. Still would really love to hit 500 by the end of the year. So please tell your friends about the channel. Ask them to subscribe and help me out, and I'd really appreciate it. But that's it for now. Come and see me on Twitch. There's a link to that down below where you can see me play this deck. And I'll be back very soon. Tomorrow should be Wednesday if I've done the videos up in the right order, which means it's Pauper Day. And that's going to be an interesting one. So take care for now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.